Hi, everyone. I wanted to do some readings today, get some insights for this weekend. Today's Saturday, the 22nd. We got through the lunar eclipse. And so we are in the last phase of the moon cycle. Moon in Capricorn today can make us feel like we got a lot of work to do, or some people get depressed, or time to think, evaluate things before we move forward. And so I pulled a card for today's guidance, and that's the Eight of Wands. I'm working with the Light Seers deck, which is a really beautiful deck, modern deck of tarot by Chris Ann, 78 cards. So I like the light in this. It's very beautiful. It's very energetic. So I was thinking about what AOC and Bernie are up to. It's the first card I pulled. The Eight of Wands, trying to achieve goals, trying to get the word out, educate people what's going on. Our government. The Queen of Cups represents going into the heart and finding our true value, finding the way that we can express ourselves with love, with a vision. But we'll see how this turns out for today, looking into our hearts and following our inspiration, the Ace of Wands, which is also a very beautiful card, the Ace of Wands. So thinking about Bernie, Rotslavus, and AOC and how they're trying to spread inspiration, reach out to people, hear people's concerns. What they do, let's see how they're going to do. Bernie and AOC as a team, and they do represent the progressive side of the Democratic Party, the left, so-called. I don't like titles anymore, categories, because it's not like they're communists or anything like that at all. They're just people who care about people, just working for the corporate lords that rule most of the other people in the parties, both parties. So we got the Hangman, and that's a time of valuation, a time of things suspended in the air. Things are in the air, up in the air. Well, maybe too, because Mercury's retrograde and so is Venus in the fire sign Aries, and this is the beginning of Aries. There will be a judgment, a raising up. In the traditional tarot judgment, as Archangel so there's some kind of awakening of feeling like we're just hanging in there. This is such a beautiful deck. The King of Swords is the King of Justice. King of Swords represents finding a vision. It's interesting that they should use a lot of water in this card. There's an owl and there's a crow and it's like a bat in the background. So interesting though, because there's more water stuff coming with sidereal Saturn and Pisces. Not the Western, but the sidereal. So right now, looking at this, it looks like there's some kind of justice that's going to come out of the association between Bernie and AOC. Perhaps just even in delivering people a vision, what they can do. Death and rebirth is happening. Another really good card for the death card. Transformation, death, and rebirth. I was looking to see if the spiral imagery would come up in these cards because I had a vision earlier this morning about there being this huge spiral that is going to pull all the greed out of the planet. But the Two of Cups. I guess we're still talking about Bernie and AOC. Coming together, harmonizing, teamwork. It looks pretty good that they're going to spread a vision. Okay, let's see how the reaction, how others will react. The public, let's say. How does the public feel regarding this few Democrats that are actually out there trying to educate and ring the bell, so to speak, for us to take positive action. Ringing the bell, the clarion, like that word, the clarion. Ringing the bell. What is this time that we're dealing with? Evolution out of greed. The evolution out of greed. Trying to find a way out of this dilemma, Seven of Swords. This card, he's like actually trying to climb over a hurdle or something. The crows are here. I don't know if I've ever been around crows, but they can be real persistent and they can kind of snip and complain about things. It's kind of an interesting imagery. The sun, the tarot, always represents awakening and consciousness, I find in the tarot. Certainly in the traditional, and this one seems to be following that. Iconography, all things in balance, trying to find our balance through this time. Temperance. That or two lackadaisical, try to be in harmony. Again, we get the Hangman. Not sure how we're going to go forward here. Finding a plan, not to just complain, but also the crows represent omens. In Odinism, they represent Odin, the gods. Perhaps the gods are trying to give us a message. The old gods. Trying to balance, hanging in there. Finding a new perspective for these times. Wheel of Fortune will turn. That's a good omen right there. Wheel of Fortune. Do we work towards the wisdom? And here's that evolutionary spiral I saw earlier today in my vision. So there's a change in our destiny happening. I had wondered if there would be some kind of to a new party. Maybe that's another question. For sure, people are going to join. Ten of Pentacles. Regarding my question, how will people react to Bernie and AOC, their town hall meetings? There's a joining, coming together, funding, supporting. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign in that respect. And then the Ace of Cups, the offer of something new. So, offering what would be the new thing that people need right now to go forward in the midst of all this chaos. Yeah, not to let our mind get the best of us, the conflicts, the bullying that's out there. And like the confusion, this guy looks like he's got this amazing hangover going on. So, not to get hung up on the conflict, I'm going to read that card that way. I like that. I like these cards. Excuse me, it's allergy time. So, what was the other question I wanted to look at? I was looking at how people are reacting to AOC and Bernie. Oh, yeah. So, the big one, really big question I had was that was a sun card, sun will there be a new party that's born out of whoever, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, anyone who's not really interested in the two party tier that we got going right now. Still, will there be a new party? So is AOC and Bernie part of this question? See if they come up. Political parties. A new party, that's what I'm looking for. Something is going to come forward, the Chariot with power. It's a good card. Some movement is starting. What that means to me about a new party, I'm thinking about a new party. Maybe they're progressive and also just considerate. Four of Pentacles, that's the difficult greed card. Moving on to things. Challenge, money, greed. New party rising forth, coming out of this time. New political party. The Ten of Wands is about burdens and dropping the burdens. So, but we know that greed is a burden too, because that's what's holding our planet back from evolving. They call it the spiral of greed. Planet evolving into a new political party or new political parties. That Ten of Pentacles again. So, I don't know. These four taken together is that, yeah, there's new energy going forward, but there's still greed and legacies, the old way of doing things, and it's a burden. So does this burden ever end? This year, does it ever end? But what happens this year with burdens? We come together as a group of people who are looking for a better way of living. Maybe that's the question. A better way of living. Cups again. We got to look into our hearts. Now, this could represent Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces woman, and that emerges. I don't know who that is right now. I just know Elizabeth Warren is out there. She's a Cancer water sign. But I think this is more symbolic of what's in our hearts to give. Dropping the birds. Knight of Swords, quickly. Very quick to be some kind of movement forward, but let's hope that it's not just destructive, because the Knight of Swords can be destructive. Destructive energy. And then there's the Empress birthing something new. She's got this huge birthing earth right there. Symbol of birth in her belly. There's the moon. So a quickening time for birthing something from our hearts that leaves behind the greed of the past, the greed paradigm. Yep, of the past. And here comes the King of Wands. So this could be a new leader that emerges. Could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarian, someone with a powerful message. So I'm going to say that, yeah, it looks like there's a new party that's going to form around maybe we've got to really Eight of Cups is like a card of like doing more vision questing, I think. Vision quest. That would be a good way to look at this. To find out that there is a new way, that we can have a new way of governing or new that really speaks to our values, not just the corporate values. And then there's the King of Pentacles. So still the idea of the industrialists, the people at the top, that to maybe look at greed as a disease. It is a disease. We don't need greed, do we? Some things to think about. I don't know who this guy is. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And a card that's been coming up ever since the election is strength. It always comes up. Learning to control our passions, evolving, getting more strength. So maybe I'll leave it there with this. So I think that definitely AOC and Bernie are doing something good to help us out in our way of thinking about government, to help us out with what kind of government we want. This 248-year cycle of Pluto and Capricorn, Aquarius, depending on sidereal or Western tropical Rossis, is a second house on the Constitution was written. It was in the second house of the United States chart. So without going too deep into that right now, but it is like a time of renovating, renewing, creating something new, just like the forefathers did, based upon principles to help everyone, pursuit of happiness and quality, a good life. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.